Good afternoon and welcome to the session of all sessions. Hi, I am Dr. Sandra Robertson and I am here so we can do a transformative process today in debunking old mindsets on relationships. I have recently written a book called Relationships, Just a Step Away from the Perfect One. This is one power-packed book. And it also has the workbook that accompanies it, and it is phenomenal. This is not really a workbook, I'm sorry, it's a journal. And so as you're reading each chapter, you jot down some of your thoughts and things that you find, that really resonate with you. And so with this particular combo, today you can have both the book and the workbook for $20. All you have to do is go to Amazon.com, or you can cash at me at $Sandra G. Robertson, and make sure you put the $ and then Sandra, Sandra, G, no space, Robertson, and you can cash at me. We got a lot of books in stock, and I can mail you your book today. So by all means, please take advantage of that. Here is the book. This book has some powerful, powerful chapters, and it really debunks. And my whole purpose of writing this book is to debunk old mindsets so that we can heal and understand the origin and the foundation of relationship. It's too many people that have been talking about, certain things about relationships and bashing the males and then bashing the females, and they're back and forth. But the problem with a lot of different behaviors have nothing to do with bashing. It has everything to do with mindsets and how we view relationships. When I was coming up, no one had any resources that I knew of that I can actually read and to help me with relationships. And so you just see somebody you like and you start dating this person that you like. And so then next thing you know, everything else wants to evolve into something else. And a lot of times young ladies are really not ready to evolve into other things. And so when you have a strong foundation, you know exactly when is the right time for you to do certain things. And also, who is your perfect fit. So what is the purpose of relationships? We are born, we have a relationship with our mother. And so we are born pretty much, and we adapt to different attachments with people. And so here it shows you here in this book, it talks about relationships, and it also talks a lot about letting you know that some relationships are temporary. And we want relationships to be permanent, but really be honest with you, all relationships are temporary. Because some of us are going to die and leave this world, and you'll be left with someone that is gone and you have attached to, and a lot of times that we grieve the attachment. And so what I want to cover in this session, I want you to ask me your questions, because I don't just want to dominate it by just going over the contents of this book. But I'm going to tell you this. This is a must-have book for everyone on this planet. And I'm not saying that just to sell copies. I'm saying it because we need this information out. We have to stop bashing the male or bashing the female. We need to understand what is the purpose of relationships and why do relationships exist. And so I want to make sure that I answer a lot of your questions. Now in the book, we have different, and I just want to go over the titles in this book. Just the titles alone is really motivating. It talks about the most important relationship is your relationship with yourself. No one can make you happy but you. You have to be in a place that you are ready to date, are ready for a relationship. We just jump into relationships because I like you. Do you like me? So you need to really go into the 5 different stages, or I'm just going to tell you about the 5 different stages of relationships. The first one is courtship, and a lot of people go, what in the world is that? Well, courtships really originated because the relationship dating at that time was intentional. So when a guy dated you, you should have won his parents and was involved in the process. some countries that still exist. But courtship, when the guy was dating you, he wasn't dating you with the intention on marrying you. So therefore, a lot of women didn't date a lot of men. Why? Because they were viewed back in those days. If you dated a lot of guys, you were perceived as a whore. And so therefore, because of your reputation, your status, you didn't want to be perceived as that. So therefore you didn't. Some women were actually arrested because during that time there was a lot of prostitution. And so therefore, if you were viewed with another man, then you were viewed as a whore. So that was way back in the 1914s, 15s. I brought that up because we are now in 2024. That we have to debunk that old mindset. In order for you to find your perfect fit, your perfect person, you have to date more than one person. If I just date one person, then I'm only going to get one perspective. I would never know my perfect fit. So when I date multiple people, then I'm really finding out what is my perfect fit, what I like, what I don't like, what I want, what I don't want. And I cannot find that out just dating one person. A lot of times women start dating and they immediately think that, okay, we married. No, you're dating. Now, if you move in, hopefully you have consented to a committed relationship. But most of the time it is just what? You're just dating. So let's explore what some of the 5 stages that I covered in this book. I want to cover a little bit more. It talks about how your unconscious minds affect your relationship. Mindsets. I want to debunk those old mindsets that makes you believe that when I start dating this guy or I start dating this girl, this is my wife and this is my husband, and we have not gone through the proper stages, and next thing you know, this person saying, I don't like you, and this person is gone, and here you are about to commit suicide, about to kill this person because you have formed an unhealthy attachment. We also talk about in this book romantic love. What is romantic love? So I want to explore that today as well. We're going to talk a little bit about courtship and dating. We're going to talk about sexual intimacy. We're going to talk about relationships, sexual rhythms. Now, I'm just touching on this. I'm going to be here every third Saturday of each month discussing different topics. Now today we're just kind of like a generalization. Introduce myself, Dr. Sandra Robertson. I've written 2 books so far. One is Relationships, just a step away from the perfect one. And the other book is Childhood Scars, Release from Pain to Healing, which I just had a session on that. So this is 2 power-packed sessions that we are having, and this is just to help you heal and debunk old mindsets. And so let's see what other 2 areas here in the book. Okay, so let's see here. Then we have, again, talking about what to expect in the commitment stage. Now, and I want to let you know that in these stages, until you marry, you're still dating. Even in the engagement stage, you're still dating. You're not married. Until you get what they say, the ring on the finger, both, you're still in the dating process. Marriage stage, and what can I say? These 2 books today, because you are actually viewing today, these 2 books today, you can purchase on Amazon, or you can cash out me at $ Sandra G. Robertson, and I'm going to give you both books today for $20. Now, you will have to pay the shipping and handling, so add an additional $5 for shipping and handling on these 2 books. Today only. You can go and you can cash out me. If you go to Amazon, you're probably going to pay more money. If you come to me, you cash out me, you can get both books for $20. And again, $ Sandra G. Robertson. And also, I will autograph every single book. Now, let me give you my email address because you're going to have to email me and give me your address. The email address is Rob, R-O-B, 3, at Verizon.net. If you go to my page, I have my card on there that gives all of this information. Again, also this book is on Audible. So if you're busy and you don't want to read the book, you can go to Audible and you can listen to the book and cleaning your house and at the gym, etc. I was listening to it the other day at the gym. And so, to make it, because a lot of my friends said, you know what, I'm busy and I have busy lives. I don't have time to sit down and read a book. Well, we have it on Audible. So go to audible.com and you can actually purchase the book. Again, it's relationships, just one step away from the perfect one. Now, my son said there's loads of questions here. So I want to start answering your questions so that your time can be beneficial today. And then if I have a little time, I may cover some sessions in the book. So what is the first question, Greg?
All righty. So how long should you date before you commit?
Okay. How long should I date before I commit? That is not a question that I can answer. Let me tell you why. Because it's no timeline for dating. You date until you find your perfect fit. You know your perfect fit because the energy that you both resonate is inevitable. It's so powerful that when this person approaches you, everything goes off in your body. You know that's your fit. And until you get to that stage, keep dating. Because there is a person that's a perfect fit for you. And the energy that you two share, and then you build on that. Now, one of the things when I find that the relationship is getting intentional, that means that this person has decided that they want to, you all both have decided that you want to spend more time together. So you're going to continue to date, but exclusively, you're going to date that person. Or you just want to be exclusive. It's up to you. And when you both agree to that, you're now entering into the commitment stage because you're committing to one another. Now, during the commitment stage, you can still date, but you're now saying that I want to spend a large amount of my time with you. When you do that, then you're in the committed stage. And from there, you build. Then that's when you start talking about it. And please don't bring a whole list of things. They got so many women and men with a whole list of things. Just let the relationship evolve and be respectful of one another. Please do not go into any relationship with any intentions other than just dating at the beginning until you started getting more in the commitment stages like commitment, engagement, and of course, marriage. Until you get to those stages, just have fun. Dating should be fun, but you do have to set boundaries. And the boundaries you have to set is that, okay, if we're going on a date and you're going to be late, make sure that you let me know. Also, the number one thing is if you're going to a restaurant or going out somewhere for an adventure, make sure you ask the other person who's paying. Or should we go Dutch? I remember when I was dating, the guy said going Dutch, forget it. But now, you know what? Be honest with you. Now that I'm a professional, I work, the other person work, then let's keep this thing neutral until we decide more. Now, if the guy say, I want to pay the money and pay for it, okay, then make sure you ask. Don't go with the understanding that this is a mindset that the man is automatically going to pay or vice versa. Make sure you know who's going to pay when you decide to go on a date. Okay?
That was good. How important is sex in a relationship?
So again, that's another question I can't answer. So why are you on here, right? Sex should be when it's intentional, when the relationship is intentional. Now, you're in control of your own body. You're in control of your own desires. Most of the time, if you've already been sexual, you desire to have sex. I'm going to leave that up to you. But just know this, because you're having a sexual relationship with someone does not mean it's a committed relationship. So if you have a baby, if you think that you're going to marry, this is all in your mind. It's a mindset that has been developed from child, especially with girls. We're giving baby dolls when we're 1 or 2 years old. Take care of your baby, take care of your baby, take care of your baby. And guys, are they getting baby dolls? No, they're getting toys to play with. So we have two different mindsets. Know when you're coming into a relationship, you're dating. This is not a commitment. So the dating really is the exploratory stage. Why? Because I'm actually thinking about me and my needs and how I can eliminate a lot of things that I don't want. And so what I don't want, I'm going to attract what I want. Now, if I'm at a place that I'm thinking that we are dating, we've had sex, and then the guy doesn't call me the next day, or the female is ignoring your call, then you're upset because you had intentions once you had that sexual relationship that it was going to be what? A commitment there. And I'm going to tell you right now, 99% of that's not the truth. I'm going to also let you know, everyone, that we only have 20% of people marrying out of 100. 20% or less are marrying now. Why? Because guys feel that women are just not suitable for marriage and vice versa. So make sure you get the understanding that it's going to take some time. You don't just send in an application for a job and think immediately that they're going to hire you because you had an interview. No, they're looking for what? The perfect fit for that organization. So I want to make sure that you are aware that dating, and you want to date more people. You want to date more people. Why? Because that's how you find what your perfect fit is. So please, I encourage that. I see sometimes on social media, he's a dog, he dating other people. He didn't commit to you. You're not married to him, or she's not married to you. She's free to date whomever she wants to. Let me give you an example real quick, and I know I'm being a little lengthy, and I know we have a lot of questions, but I can tell you an ideal couple. I have some friends that when they met one another through some other friends, and they hit it off. They just immediately, the energy was there. So she kept dating, and he didn't like that. He was dating, but he didn't like her dating, but she kept dating. So one day she was out with her date, and he was at that place, and he was upset. So he walked up to the guy and said, "Can I dance with her?" And the guy said, "Yeah, it's up to you. It's up to her." And so she said, No. I'm out with him. So no, I don't want to dance with anybody but him. He got upset. He stormed out. So he called and called and called. And so the next day, he said, "Well, can I date?" She said, I got plans this whole week. And then the following week, I'm going out of town for my job. And he said, "What?" She said, "Yes." She said, "So when I get back at the end of the month," I think it was like on the first of the month, she said, "I'll get in contact with you and I'll let you know." But in the meantime, she had her little date planner filled, and she was going out. Now, was she sexual with everyone? None of my business. If you want to have sex with more people during the dating process, that's your business. No one should know that. But just know you're dating. So anyway, make the long story short, when she came, and he said, "Well, I want to meet you where you are." She said, "Well, I'm going to be too busy and I need to focus on my job." So when she came back in, she contacted him. He was over there immediately. He said, "I just wanted it to be us exclusively." And she said, "Okay." She said, "Well, she said, I feel the same way. I'm very attracted to you. And I love when we date and go out." She said, "So yes, I would like to be committed to you." And so they started dating exclusively. But guess what? She had dates on the side until they got engaged and they moved in. She kept dating. And they're still married today. And I asked him, I said, "Wow, what motivates you?" And he said, "Because she kept going on with her life. She focused on her needs. She was independent, and she wasn't needed. She wasn't calling me every 5 minutes to see where I was, because I wasn't going to call her every 5 minutes. Guys do not want to be pressured. So I'm going to let you know right now, continue in the dating process until you both want to come together in a committed stage.
So you got two pending questions. The first one is, do you feel in a relationship that you should have uncomfortable times? Or is that a sign to end the relationship?
It should never be uncomfortable. If it's uncomfortable, you're with the wrong fit. That's not the person you want to be with, because dating should be the most joyous time of your life because you're exploring. So if you're in a relationship where it's uncomfortable time, then you're not connecting with that person. When you're connected with that person, it's always going to be fun time. Now, well, you have a difference of opinion on some things, yes, but it's not going to be severe. So run. That's not a person you want to continue a relationship. And be honest with you, when you continue it, that's where these sexual attractions and that's how those attractions start, because now that person is just so getting dependent, and you're uncomfortable. You're uncomfortable by the dependence of that person, where they're calling you every day, they want to be with you every day. That's what you're uncomfortable about. Or you may not like the aggression of the person. That's not your fit. Keep dating until you find your fit, and you will find your fit.
When should you, this is Gregory Robertson, Senior.
Okay.
When should you pop the question and how long?
Again, there's no timeline. And again, these are old mindsets. When you and your spouse, your partner, your mate, and I'm going to go through the different stages of that. When you two have come to the understanding that, you know what, it's beyond just sexual attraction. I miss you when you're not around. I think of you all the time. When you get to that stage and then you start into being a little bit more committed, where you're dating more and more one-on-one, getting the feel, making sure that this person is a good fit for you, understanding you and things of that nature. Then you get engaged to the person and things of that nature. Now when you get engaged to this person, you are intentional. And at that time, you two should establish a date that you want to marry. Not until then.
All righty. This is Sidonia Bird. How long should you date before moving in together?
I'm going to say until you get to the engagement stage, no. Why? Because you're both exploring in the dating stage. And when you move in, you still want to have your single life. Now, what winds up happening, and it can be twofold. Women start taking a role as a wife, and they expect now the guy to be more committed. He's still running around with his friends, and vice versa. Now I'm seeing more women leaving their partners at home, and they're going out with the girlfriends. So until you get to the point, really be honest with you, and in the engagement stage is where I feel that it's a little bit more commitment, and you can make those decisions. But not before. Not before that. You have to be in a committed relationship, and just dating someone is not commitment.
Angela Marie Jones said, should you ever date two men who are close, like brothers?
No.
Or will that cause problems?
No. I didn't even let him finish, and I don't want to be disrespectful to you, but no. And I'm going to tell you why. They're playing games. If two brothers know that you are dating them, they're playing games. They're playing games. Because one thing about men, once they really like you, they don't want another man around you. You know when it's commitment there, that man, they can be roommates. And you can be coming around. And then when that guy starts liking you more than just, from just a physical standpoint, he's really into you, he's going to end that relationship with that friend, because he don't want that friend around where you're around. So he becomes guarded, he becomes protective. It's no way two brothers is going to date you, and it's not from a sexual standpoint and just to have fun. And you don't have time for that. So you want to date with the intentions on finding your perfect fit. So my answer to that would be no. Now, of course, you can do what you want, but that would be my answer, no. And you see how quickly I responded.
Let's spice it up now. So, in your book, you really vividly describe the sexual rhythm. Can you elaborate on that, please? Okay,
here go my son. He wants me to expound on the sexual rhythms. Okay, let me go through the different stages and tell you how we get to that. In the courtship stage, and again, a lot of people don't understand the courtship stage, but when dating really became very known, that was in the 1914s, 15s, way before our time, it was intentional. So guys dated with the intention of getting married. And so their sexual encounters were holding hands and sneaking a kiss. We know that doesn't exist now. Okay. So now we bypass the courtship. Courtship is just really the little friendly stage. You have no intent or anything other than just to, may have somebody that you just want to go to the movies with on occasion. That's courtship. Dating is a little bit more intentional, where you're dating to find your perfect fit. You're dating multiple people and things of that nature. Now, again, you're going to have sex in your dating, but if you don't, again, it's your preference. So what happens in the dating process where it comes to sexual rhythms? You're dating so many people, or you're dating more than one person. You're not developing a rhythm. You're having sex. So yes, you do the pulsations. Yes, you can climax. But guys are real good at holding off until they become more intentional. And I didn't know that until I fell in love and things I started seeing the shift in the intimacy became more progressive, became more intentional. And so how does rhythm start? If you have one partner, your mental, your subconscious is remembering that pulsation, that rhythm. And so when you have that sexual relationship, it gets a little bit more intense because the mind has remembered the fulfillment of that rhythm, and now is striving to get to that rhythm because they know that's where the fulfillment is. It's almost like a little junkie per se, because you keep on until you get to that particular high. Well, the same thing with sex. You keep on until you get to that particular high. And so once you're just dating one person, it's easy to determine that rhythm. And because you know what you determine it, when I'm going to climax. I know I'm going to climax, and once I climax and I know how I'm going to feel that fulfillment, that sensation. My body is yearning for it. My body wants it. And so I become more intentional with that, and it's recorded in my unconscious mind. So when I see him and he see me, everything wakes up. The vagina, everything. We're just ready to have sex because we remember that encounter. Now, can I have more than one person? Yes, you can. If you're dating two people and you're having sex, the body is remembering that sex. And so once that unconscious mind is remembering that sex, sometimes he can be dating girl one, and then he have a different sexual encounter with girl two, and really then move to girl two. Or vice versa. The girls the same way. Females are the same way. So it's really recorded in the unconscious mind, the fulfillment of the sex. And if you have that fulfillment of the sex, you remember that person and you long to have sex with that person. Now I'm going to get even more in depth. That's why men can have what they call a side chick or whatever and fall in love with that person. Because there's two types of love. It's in love and then it's love. Now men love their wives because guess what? It's more than just a sexual encounter, because once they come into the engagement stage and then the families become involved, it's more intentional. So it's a love there. That's the woman they want to have their children, and et cetera, et cetera. That's the one they want to build their lives with. So they love their wives. They can be in love with another woman. Why? Because of the sexual encounter that they are having with that other woman is bringing them a lot of fulfillment, and they don't want to let that go. So love and in love. You can get kind of twisted when a man say, "I'm in love with you." Well, if he's in love with you and he has a wife, then that's only from a sexual feeling. Now, my dad told me this, and this is true. Men marry the woman that makes them feel good about themselves. And women marry men for support. Women really fall in love. Men don't fall in love until they decide that they want to be married. Because men are purposeful. And so they really are looking for someone to complement the purpose in their life. So let's just say, like my son, he's into the music industry. The perfect mate for him would be someone that's going to complement that. So even if the person is not, she's going to do everything that she can to complement and encourage where he want to be. And so when you marry and you date purpose, when you get to that committed stage, and I'm going to say engagement at this point, you're really looking for someone that you can really commit to that will complement where you are, and y'all grow together. And so you both should be complementing one another. But men marry women that's going to help elevate them to the next level.
Whew. All right. That was tough. All right. Antavia Tay-R. Dating someone with past relationship trauma. How do you deal with that?
You don't. You can't deal with someone else's trauma. They have to deal with that. So what that's going to do is bring trauma into your life. You're not qualified to deal with someone's trouble. trauma. I have a book right here, Childhood Scars, Release from Pain to Healing. Buy it for that person and let that person heal from their past traumatic experiences. What's going to happen here is you're going to digress in the relationship, because now this person has been wounded and hurt. They're on alert. You know, like if you've been slapped before, okay? And then, so you're on alert. So when somebody raised their hand, they may want to shake your hand. You're going to have a reflex while you're triggered because you once was slapped and it was uncomfortable for you. And so if a person is having some traumatic experiences, they need to see a counselor, buy books and try to help heal themselves. You're not qualified for that. Am I saying to leave the relationship? I can't say that. That's your decision. But know that the longer you stay in a relationship that you're unfulfilled. Why do we come into relationships? For need fulfillment. For need fulfillment. So if the need that you have is being fulfilled and you want to stay there in that relationship, as long as you're getting that need fulfilled, what am I to say? But if you're trying to help this person solve a childhood scar or some type of trauma, you're not qualified. That person needs to seek help. And I know, because I was a childhood scar victim. So I'm not saying something that I wasn't ready to marry no one. And so when I got married, my husband, I was talking about all of the things he did wrong. But I was a traumatic person coming into a relationship. He had trauma from the death of his mother and father. I had trauma from my upbringing and, as a child. So here we have two wounded individuals coming together trying to make a whole marriage. And we face a lot of different challenges and obstacles. And so you want to make sure that you have your fit. Now, if that's your fit, go for it. But you're going to find yourself having some wasted years. And a lot of times those guys are still looking because you're only one perspective and they're dating other women and they're bringing the same situation into those other relationships. So you really do not find the value that you think you're going to find being some kind of counselor that you're not equipped to do. There's a lot of different stages to bring a person to a place where they healed from those childhood scars.
C3, sorry if I mutilated your name. Should you ever say the L word when you just date?
No. Because you're not in love. You're not in love. Love just does not. You know what you're feeling? You're feeling that energy, which is good. You're feeling that energy. And so now from the way you're feeling, you're having those emotions, you're having this arousal. It doesn't have to be sexual, you're having this arousal. So you're equating those emotions and those feelings to love, and it's not. Love is very, very time consuming. I know some people say I fall in love and then overnight. No. You've fallen in, I want to say lust. Because really, and it may not even be from a sexual connotation, you can be lustful because of the way that person make you feel. Everybody equate lust to sex. Lust can be the conversation. You lust after hearing that conversation. You can lust after hearing somebody's voice. You can lust after hearing a feel. So we have to debunk that old mindset that lust is always sexual. But no, and the worst thing you can do is tell me that you love me within a day or two. And I don't feel the same way. And sometimes we think that telling someone that I love you is automatically going to, spark an interest in them? No, it's not. Because you have in your mind a certain type of love that you want, and this person may not. So you have to really talk about the relationship and the involvement. And you'll find out when you say, I love you, the guy said, well, I don't love you right now. I mean, these guys right now, I like it. They are honest. Say, no, I'm not in love with you right now. And so when they say they're not in love, they're not. Now, you can keep telling them you love them 100 times a day. That doesn't necessarily mean that they love you back. Their actions and their behavior will show you that they're interested. And when a guy loves you, he's going to tell you. And you have to weigh it to make sure, is this love because, we have evolved together, or is this love because of a need for me? And so you have to be careful with this love thing. So to answer your question, I would say no, because you're really not in love. You think you are, but you're not. It takes a while to get to that stage where you really is in love with someone.
Tammy Smith said, what kind of man you looking for when you are single, employed female with one child?
What kind of man am I looking for? It goes in, who am I at the time? Who am I? Where am I? And why I am where I am. And so sometimes you say, well, I want a father for my son or my daughter. But are you the mother for your son or your daughter? Are you the mother and the father? When I say the mother and the father, are you providing for this child? Are you providing for him spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically? So you have to be at a place where you are so independent that you are going to attract a man that's going to complement that. And so to me, and that's just my professional opinion, relationships don't work when you're going out with a need based. No, you're dating, and it's going to evolve into the stage that you're looking for, and then you all complement one another, because you may be spending a lot of times with someone that don't even like kids. Because when you have children and you're going on a date, you're gonna have someone watch them. So he's not or she's not really around the child. You with me? Not even around the child. So to him, you're single and he's single. And until and I would say take your time in introducing him to your child, unless y'all thinking about getting married. Because there's too many different situations that occur. And a lot of times the woman or the man may not even be ready for a child. You will get what you want. I found that out in life. If you want a mate, you will get a mate, but you have to be in a position where you don't need a mate. And then the mate will come. When I have counseling session with my clients, the very first thing the guys say that they don't like about women is that they after their money and they bring nothing to the table. You have to bring something to the table. What does that mean? You have to fulfill a need in that person. And if you're not fulfilling a need in that person, and I'm going to tell you right now, sex is not the need that you're thinking. It's fulfillment, because people, female or male, can have sex today with anybody they want to if they want to. So that's not the caveat that's going to draw the man to you. Are you doing things and see what he wants or see what she wants in the relationship? But I will leave the kids out until I'm in a position where I can take care of my child and like I just named. And then where you are, when you're stable where you are, you're going to attract someone else. That's why control comes in and abuse comes in, because we're looking for someone to help us take care of our child. And that's where, because no one wants to be in a situation where they are having someone dependent on them. Even in marriages, your husband, your wife want to know that you're financially stable to help in this relationship.
So basically, the next question is pretty much a piggyback on that. But it's how long should you date someone before they meet your child?
Again, that's going to depend on where you are in the relationship. Of course, not in the dating stage. That is a no-no. That is a no-no. That right there is adding lighter fluid to a fire. It's going to explode. No, when you both have come into the relationship of oneness, that means that you both are really connected in the relationship, and you see where you're going somewhere with this relationship. And where you're going with the relationship, you see a commitment there. Once you see the commitment there, then he will ask, or she will ask, when am I going to meet your children? Let your partner ask that question. Don't volunteer. Don't rush the process. We're rushing and getting into these relationships that we say is committed, and a lot of times they are not. It's in our mind is committed because it's routine. We're seeing this person on a regular basis. A lot of times, once the kid get involved, then the man is not used to having a child around, and he may have children and may not be used to having a child around, and then here goes some abuse, because kids are very inquisitive. They move around all of the time. They're in your face and things of that nature. And so when you're a man and you're not used to that, then you're going to have some problems. So I will wait until I know that person is really ready for a commitment before I even introduce him to my child or my children.
All right. Donna says, I like a guy, but not sure how he feel about me. How do I ask without getting my feelings hurt if he don't feel like I do?
Well, don't get your feelings hurt. That's why we're having this discussion right now. You can like someone, and unfortunately, sometimes when you like someone, that person does not like you. not in the way that you like them. And so therefore, that's why I'm saying, let's not lock into one person. Keep yourself open to attract other guys and keep dating. And if that person is who you really feel drawn to, then he's going to feel drawn to you. You should never ask him anything, because one of the things about men, when they like you, they let you know. You don't even have to guess. They'll let you know. Is his behavior showing you some consistency? If it's not, then you have your answer. Do you have to call him more than he calls you? You go on a date. Do y'all have a good time on the date? Is he calling you for dating often? These are answers to your questions. And be honest with you, just asking the question lets me know that it's not where you want it to be. Don't waste your time. And know this, that he's dating other women. So he may like you, but not really like you. He may like you just in the dating stage, just as a, just a date. But he's not thinking about a commitment. And when he does, he's going to let you know. So behavior is going to be the key. I call it the caviar, to let you know if the person likes you or not. Enough to continue. And he's going to let you know. If he's not calling you on a regular basis, or he's not asking you out on a regular basis, he's dating other people. And so you have to know that, okay, I need the date. We lock into guys too soon, thinking that, okay, we had a couple of dates and he's really, and no, he's not. When he starts falling off because he's found someone else.
Alrighty. So let's get a little deeper.
Okay.
So arguments within the relationship, consistently, is that a sign to work it out? Is that a sign to leave? Or is that a sign that there is no connection?
Arguments is a clue that is unbalanced in the relationship. That means that you both are full of ego. And where the ego is present, and we can have all type of egos, but here's some negative ego. It's like a control situation. And so why do we argue? For control. And 99% of the times, arguments lead to end of relationships. If it's a point where it's a difference of opinion, or I don't like what someone does, then I should be mature enough to come to that person and talk to that person intelligently. Once our tone gets elevated, both of us has lost, because nothing is accomplished. So it's sometimes in the relationship you may find that some things that this person may do that I don't like. I have to evaluate why I don't like it. Because a lot of times that's who the person is. So here it is. I don't like the person if I don't like what he does. Like, for instance, sometimes a guy may go days without calling you. But you want a guy to call you every day. But yet you want to date someone that's not going to do that. You can't force that person to do that. And one of the things that I had to learn is that we control nothing with the other person. That other person gives us permission. In other words, I may say, get the chair for me right now. That person have to think about, do I want to do that or not? If that person get up and get the chair, that's a choice that person made. I didn't control anything. That person got up there and did it himself or herself. So you have to know, in relationships, when we start having these confrontations, it's a lack of what? Maturity there. Because here it is, somewhere it's a disconnect. And most of the time we're fighting guys because they ain't called us, or we ain't seen them in a while, and they haven't dated us, and where have they been, and things of that nature. They're in the dating process. And they're looking at, well, I don't know her anything. She's none of my wife. Or vice versa. And then here go girls, they out with their friends on a regular basis. He said, I done called you 100 times. Where have you been? And then here you go, hey, wait a minute. Let's get some understanding here. We're not married. So know that. And if the confrontation gets physical, you both have lost. Nobody has accomplished anything. And now you got two people madder than it was when the situation that you're uncomfortable with occurred. So I'm not going to say that you're not going to have a difference of opinion. But once I notice that the confrontation is getting physical and we're getting out of control, before we get out of control, I'm going to stop it. Why? Because I already know it's not going anywhere. I'm just wasting my time. And if it's a frequent occurrence, then it's time for me to end the relationship, because we're not a perfect fit. And it's nothing that I can do. I can't beat him up. I can't curse him out. I can't shake him enough to get him to be what I want him to be. He's never going to be that. He's going to be who he is, and the vice versa for men. You can slap her. You can do all this stuff. You can try to do what you can to control her. You're never going to control her. Because one thing about both parties is if they're in a relationship with you, it's based on need. And when they no longer need you, they will leave. So no one controls no one. So I would not be arguing with anyone. And definitely if it's to try to get that person to spend some time with me. No way.
Latasha Russell said, I've been friends with someone for some time. Now I really like him and care about him a lot. How do I move things to the next level, or do I let him lead?
Talk about it. 99% of healthy relationships started friendships. 99% of healthy relationships started friendships. And that's like, I'm going to say, you're like in the courtship stage. I love when you now developing more of an intimacy there, because you've been intimate all along. Now, sometimes the female or the male have viewed you as a sister and don't want anything more intentional. That's something you're going to have to deal with in that situation. But I will let the person know by just saying, you know what, I'm just going to use a name. You know what, Joe? We've been friends for a while, and lately I've been thinking a lot about you. I'm thinking I'm developing feelings other than friendship. What do you think about that?
Tammy Smith, okay, y'all dating but always texting. No conversation on the phone. Is that normal, or that person hiding something?
No one hides anything in dating. Let's get that understood. No one hides anything in dating. He's dating you and multiple other people. If it's only through text, then he's dating other people, and he definitely can't call you because apparently he has someone that he's a little bit more serious about, or more committed to, and he does not want to rattle that cage. And so therefore he's going to text you, because guess what? That's a whole lot more easier. Now you all are communicating, so he doesn't like you if he's communicating. But he's dating other people. So if he's not calling you, he's dating other people. You have to make a decision if this is the type of relationship I want. Because he is communicating. Do I want to only be text, or do I want a phone call? It doesn't really matter. Now if he's only texting you and y'all still dating, y'all still going out, y'all still having fun, okay, what's the phone call? Well, what's the big deal with the phone call? I mean, you still communicate. If he's texting you and you're not going on dates and you're not doing the things that you would like, then that's your answer right there. He's dating more than one person. And usually we're dating one person and he's dating multiple people, which he should be in the dating process. And so we have gotten all of these feelings and attached. You know why? You know why we're so attached to people? Because we only focus on that one person. Date other people. Date other people. Don't just be fixated on that one person. But if he's texting you, he's still communicating.
There's a lot of good questions on this session. I'm telling you that now. It's
Good. I like that.
A lot of good questions on that one. No one's posted anything else, so I'll see if anyone else is going to put any more questions, because we are getting on the time. Okay.
Well, we're getting close to the end of the hour. So please post your questions, because I'm probably going to be able to answer about 2, a maximum 3 before 6 o'clock. And so please, I'm enjoying the questions, and I'm hoping that I'm really helping you a whole lot in the process. And before another person posts a question, or Greg asks me a question, I'm going to say this. Let me go over the different stages again. Courtship is where really the friendship thing. It's where you're friends and you're enjoying one another. You may go different places together, but you're really not ready to date this particular person. You're dating, but you're not dating. And I don't want to say intentionally. You're not dating. You're just having fun, as friends. And then you get into the dating process. The dating process is really your exploration of yourself. You're finding out what you like, you don't like, and things of that nature. And you're kind of like eliminating things that people that you don't like in your life, and getting closer to what you do like, and being a little bit more intentional. And then you get the committed stage. Into the committed stage, you're saying, you know what, and if you read this book, once you read this book, you're going to find out in this book here the different stages. So when you get in the committed stage, you're like, okay, I like this person. When I see this person, I really think about this person when she's not around or when he's not around. I'm really developing feelings. I want to explore this a little bit more in depth. And then eventually you get into the engagement stage. You know what? I think now I want to build my relationship with this person. Now, during the commitment stage, you move in together. Let me tell you what can happen. If this guy finds out that you're not what he thought you was, he goes back into the dating process fully. Now, he could be in the engagement stage, still dating. And that's where a lot of women say, wait a minute, I disagree with that. And I've had people argue with me with that. But I'm just trying to tell you the realism of the situation. And then when this person really begins to get more intentional and purposeful with the relationship, that's when he decides he's really, really ready to settle down and marry. Now, when you get to the commitment stage, it should be more purposeful. That means that you're coming together and you're deciding what you want to do with the relationship to bring meaning in this relationship. Okay, what are we going to do? We're going to move in together. We're going to move into an apartment first. And then after so many years, we're going to move into a house and things of that nature. These are the things that we're going to do. We're going to put this in the savings account each month so that we can move into our first home. We want to make sure that before we retire that we have our dream home. So after we move in here, we're going to develop enough equity so you're intentional the whole time. You got a vision and you got a plan and your strategy is moving. You got different stages of this plan that you're going through. And so that's intentional. You're coming together and you're both agreeing the life that you want to live together. Before that stage, before you get to that, you're just really exploring the dating stage. Stay open, stay stay within the self and making sure that during this time of dating, that you are building your career. There doesn't have to be a college education, but you're building your career. You're coming as independent as you possibly can. Again, you never know when the shifts are going to turn. Somebody can lose their job. Someone can get sick. So it's good that both parties come into the relationship with some type of career path. In other words, a job where you both can, something happen, you can help that person until you get on your feet. So just be intentional when you get to the commitment stages. Anything else?
No, everybody just quoting saying how much they like it.
Well, I want you to know that, and I see a lot of times on social media where everyone say he's a dog. No, he's not. This man is free to date as many women as he wants to. What is a dog about it? Because we have gotten there, and I'm going to tell you myself, we have gotten there and we have put our all in all into this one person with the intent that it's going to be reciprocated. And this person is dating multiple people. And let you know that. Date multiple people. And on social media with multiple people. And then you're hurt because you thought it was more in that relationship than what it was. And so when you start developing these feelings, there's a certain way that you can approach it so that you can get an understanding and a meaning of that relationship. And I know this too. This man has a different relationship with each woman that he's in a relationship with. And the same thing vice versa with the woman. And then now men saying, women are saying they're dogs and men saying they're gold diggers. Well, are we gold diggers? Not really. But if you got your own job and you are independent and you're taking care of yourself and you really need a man as a complement, not a necessity, or you really need a woman as a complement, not a necessity, that's when you're going to find your mate. But if you are looking because he's this big time executive or whatever, that man is going to see the limitations with you not helping him to advance and where he want to be financially. He may have a goal of he want to have this big huge home, but yet he may be making $500,000 a year, but you're not working. And he wants this home for $14 million, and you're not working. He's not going to be able to accomplish that. After a while, he's going to find you as a liability. So make sure that you are equally yoked in this relationship. And some men, like my husband, he wanted me to stay home. He wanted me to stay home. He didn't want me to work, especially when I had my child. He wanted me to stay home. Well, I was always a career-oriented person, so I did part-time work for a while, and then I just, when my son went to school, I said, let me find a job here that is going to be flexible, and I did. I was blessed to do that, to have jobs where, in education where I can pick my son up and he doesn't have to go to these after-school programs and etc. So you can work everything out, but it's communication. Communication is the key. This book right here is going to provide a lot of answers that we have not been able to ask today. I'm going to say this book, Relationships, just a step away from the perfect one, is going to debunk a lot of those old mindsets.
You got one more question.
Okay.
So, she said all of this, Latasha again. She said all of this great information that I needed to hear. However, when it comes to healing and loving yourself, what would you recommend as a first step?
Do a self-introspection, and it's covered in the book. In the journal, write everything down, but do a self-introspection where you go into self and find out what areas of self that is not being fulfilled. And usually it comes from childhood scars. So I would get both books. I would get the childhood scars, where you are. If you can afford it, I would get the childhood scars, Release from Pain to Healing. I would get the workbook, and I would get all 4 books, and I would sell all 4 books to you today for $50, and I'll pay the shipping and handling. Because the childhood scars is going to help you heal from the areas that you've been wounded. And this book here is going to help you find yourself. Because until you find yourself, you don't qualify to be anything other than yourself. You go into the relationships with expectations of someone that cannot fulfill any of it. And so you find up attracting people that will take advantage of you, abuse you, and reject you. And that's what we say, the abuse and the rejection. And basically, a lot of times, it's just that person's personality that we feel is wrong. But they're living their life. You got to live yours. And so, again, not to just sell you some books, but I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of times we need book therapy. We need to read different books from authors that have experienced these situations and communicating to us some steps and things that we need to take. But a self-introspection, going inward and seeing, and just evaluating self and saying, okay, what are some of the areas that I feel that I'm not as strong in? And those are things that you can really help you with those childhood scar books as well as the relationship book. Email me. Sandrob3@verizon.net, Sandrob3@verizon.net, and let me know what books you want. And if you want to just get one set and then get the next set, I'll work with you. But these are books that we need to have. We need to have these books. And I'm going to be on here once a month, the 3rd Saturday of every month. And I would like you all to purchase these books so that you can ask me questions from the book. And then we can go a little bit more deeper, because I can only scan the surface with a live presentation. And I also have counseling sessions as well. And you can go look at my business card, and you can text me, you can email me, and then we can schedule some sessions as well. We need to heal, because it's more about healing for the next generation and living a healthy life in this life. But we want the next generation to be a whole lot bit more stable and really more confident and understanding. And that's what happened with me. With my traumatized past, the Childhood Scars book helped me a whole lot. And in my writing and researching, I found out so much. And in this relationship book, I'm going to leave you with this. In this relationship book, I found out that 53 or 55% of women have more adulterous relationships than the men. And that could be that the men, from an ego standpoint, don't want another man to know there's somebody, his wife or, a longtime friend, it shouldn't be a friend, but his wife, went outside of the marriage. But women, why are we going outside of the marriage? Because we're looking for something to fulfill a void or need in our lives. And you really have to be equally yoked. That means that you have to have your perfect fit. And really, your perfect fit is you, waiting for discovery. And so once you get to the point where you are in tune with yourself and build that self-confidence, you're going to attract your mate. You're going to attract your perfect fit. Not before then. It has been, any more questions, Greg, before? It has been a phenomenal time. I have enjoyed your questions. That's what I'm here. I wish that I had these books when I was younger. I wish I had them. And I'm here not to make money, because you heard that old thing, starving artists. But the thing about it is to help the next generation, which is your generation, heal and become stronger and have healthier relationships. It's too many people committing suicide. It's too many people killing people. It's too many people having these distorted mindsets that I own you. You own no one. And the only person that you can control is you. You cannot control anyone else. So I want you to know that live a healthy life, enjoy life, because this is the only life you have. Thank you.